Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountain.
Beautiful day here in the neighborhood, our neighborhood, Pittsburgh, PA. I'm here at the Mr. Rogers statue. You know, Mr. Rogers is from Latrobe, I'm from Latrobe, and Arnold Palmer is and will always be from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. This week, the memorial service was held at St. Vincent's Basilica. Golf legend Jack Nicklaus was there. The Ryder Cup trophy was there. Ricky Fowler, Phil Mickelson, they brought it down from Minnesota. Many dignitaries came to the small town of Latrobe, Pennsylvania that almost seems blessed in its special way. Not only Mr. Rogers and Mr. Palmer, but we know our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers practice there as well. So let's take a step back and look at some of the footage from the memorial service this week honoring a life well played, Arnold Palmer.
I know your life on earth was troubled, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the way.
We are all here for the same reason. We love Arnold Palmer. We all loved my grandfather. I had the unique opportunity to be able to call him a grandfather. My family here today had the pleasure to know him as not just the celebrity, the professional golfer, the aviation superstar. We knew him as Dumpy. That was his name. We referred him with as much love as we could. The name Dumpy came from my oldest sister, Emily, in an attempt to call him Grumpy as a little girl. Her GRs were Ds, and to this day, I have Dumpy in my phone. I'll never change it.
I'm going to do something a little unconventional here. We've had a thumbs up, but I think here we are in Latrobe, and knowing how much he loved, showering of love and appreciation. Can we give him one more? Can we give him one more walk and ovation for Arnold Palmer coming home up the 18th? Would you join me?
In some ways, Arnold approached his golf much like flying. He was passionate, loved to go fast, and he had a fearlessness about him. I remember a day in the 1960s, Arnold and I went out to Seagraves, Texas, a little town in West Texas, to play an exhibition. He had picked me up in his Aero Commander, and it was one of those windswept days in West Texas. And the Aero Commander, we were just bouncing all over the sky. To me, I felt like a piece of paper in a tornado, and I'm holding on for dear life, scared to death. In fact, it's like a roller coaster coming off the tracks. I looked over at Arnold, and he was laughing. And it was like he was sitting in the front seat of a roller coaster, enjoying every moment. I did not enjoy that flight. And with his other love, golf, I'm still not sure who needed the other the most. So let's just call it a love affair to last a lifetime. The game gave so much to Arnold, but he gave back so much more. Arnold came along when golf needed him most. When TV first embraced the sport of golf, they had a swashbuckling hero in Arnold as the game's face. Just like the young man I watched that day in 1954, muscles taught piercing raindrops with every shot, Arnold Palmer was the everyday man's hero. He embodied the hardworking strength of America, with his shirt often hanging out, a hitch in his pants, and Arnold played a game we could all appreciate. He made the recovery shot a form of art, and people adored it. At times, he played like no one else before or after him, and at times he played like everyone else who had ever gripped a club. And that endeared him to all, watching outside the ropes or from their living room. He appealed to everyone. When he slipped on a green jacket, you might say he was comfortable wearing a blue collar or white collar beneath it. He had a swagger long before it was cool, but his charisma came with a softness, a smile, and a wink, and as everybody has said today, a trademark thumbs up. We competed in everything from majors to endorsements to golf course design to a game of bridge at 40,000 feet. You name it. We likely competed for it, and I promise you, if there was ever a problem, I knew Arnold had my back, and he knew I had his. I've said before, and I can't emphasize it enough today, I may have had to battle Arnold's army early on, but I never had to battle Arnold Palmer. Today, I'm a proud soldier in Arnie's army. You see, I've even got an umbrella on my lapel. He was the king of our sport, and he always will be. Like the great Vin Scully, when he called his last game Sunday night for the Dodgers, he says, "Don't be sad that it's over. Smile because it happened."
All right, as we can tell, Mr. Palmer was well respected. You know, I grew up in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and as kids, every time a jet would fly over, we'd always say, "There goes Arnold." You know why? Because he was a local kid who had done good. He had his own jet, he flew his own plane. And he flew his own plane because he was maybe heading out to Los Angeles to host The Tonight Show, which he did one time. Or maybe he was heading out to LA or Palm Springs to hang out with the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. Not only was he a great golfer, but he was just a great guy to be around. You know, everybody's, well, pal was Arnold Palmer. As I got to know Mr. Palmer throughout the years, I interviewed him several times, and his sense of humor never ever failed him. One of my favorite stories is I was late to interview Mr. Palmer in his own home, in his own office, the King's Court, by an hour and a half. I didn't want to be late, but traffic and a cell phone that had lost its battery made me late. As I came into his office, he looked at me kind of funny, like, "Are you kidding me? You're late to interview me." As I sat down to interview, well, Arnold Palmer, who had won 4 Masters and 2 British Opens, I sat down and I introduced myself and said, "How are you, Mr. Trevino?" He laughed. A lot of other guys would have been insulted by that, but not Arnold Palmer. He thought it was funny, and he said, "How you doing, Bob?" That was Arnold Palmer. He rolled with the punches. And maybe that's what made him a great golfer, too. He rolled with the punches. If he sprayed it to the left or sprayed it to the right, Arnold didn't care. He knew golf was a game of recovery. He'd grab that 9-iron and whack it as hard as he could. That's how he played the game. As I got to know Mr. Palmer in his later years, I assure you, he was very generous with his time. Take a look at this clip several years ago, just 4 brief years ago. I got to sit down with Mr. Palmer before the World Golfers Championships in South Africa. He took his time to say hello to a friend of his that was sick at the time.
World Golfers Championship. I'm here with Mulligan in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and of course the patron of the World Golfers Championship, Mr. Arnold Palmer. Arnold and Sven go way back. I guess you used to go to Sweden and golf with them, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. Mr. Palmer has a few special words for you, Sven, on your 80th birthday coming up.
Well, welcome from America, and Sven, I hope you're feeling better. I understand you've really had some pretty serious health problems, and knowing as tough as you are, you will get over those very quickly and be back on the line again as quick as you can. I want to wish you all very well on the World's Golf Championship there in South Africa. I hope that works out very well. It's important that these programs go along very good. So good luck, everybody. And Sven, I hope you're doing better. And now that you're getting in the right digits, in the 80s, that is, I'm sure you'll make it okay.
Mr. Palmer, we appreciate it as always. Let's get back. Let's have some fun in South Africa.
That was Arnold Palmer. You know, there's been a lot of great golfers throughout history. And there's an old saying, money doesn't make a man, money unmasks a man. You know, if you give a guy some money, is he the same old guy he was before? Or is he buying the drinks at the bar? Does he think he's special somehow, just because he has a few extra dollars in his pocket? That wasn't Arnold Palmer. In fact, if he had a few extra bucks, it probably went to a charity. Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Arnold Palmer, probably the greatest sports figures we've ever had in the United States of America. His passing is an end of an era, and quite frankly, broke my heart.
In the meadow.